Tuesdays with Murray, Chapter 10. We couldn't stay at the coffee shop. Well, I couldn't. Ted could have. But, like the true friend he is, Ted suggested a nearby diner that had recently picked up steam for a food trend popular all over Instagram called Croup. Croup garnered lines of photo-happy foodies hours before the place opened. But Croup was nothing more than melted ice cream served in a soup bowl. In fact, you didn't even know when the place would open. They opened when all the ice cream melted. You could literally make this at home for half the price with the microwave. But, then, what would you do with all your free time? So Ted started. That was something back there. I think it's for the best. You can find a new coffee shop. Give yourself a fresh start. It'll be like the Witness Protection Program. Ted looked all over the menu that had more categories than choices and spoke over the dinging of bells signaling an order was ready. But my plan, Ted, it worked, and I fucked it all up. What plan? Between the events of the last few hours, I forgot that the only people that knew of my idea to have Bill Murray read my book was myself and my mom. That's right, I didn't tell you. Ted, I figured out how I could sell 1 million copies of my book. I've got good news too, he said. Wait, 1 million copies? Of your status updates? Yeah. In hindsight, I should have insisted that Ted went first. My news was going to make his look like shit, and I wasn't trying to make him feel bad about it. I mean, I'm not trying to one-up him. Yeah, I'm sorry. I still haven't read it. I've been busy as hell. He looked embarrassed, but I get it. I mean, I'm unemployed and feel strapped for time. Wait, so how are you going to sell 1 million copies? I'm going to have Bill Murray read it. He was quiet, like his response was buffering like a streaming movie. Suddenly I noticed all of the other sounds that filled this place. Plates being put down, the rolling sound of a register drawer opening, orders being yelled in, customers asking if the eggs have gluten in them and requesting that pickles go on a side plate. What do you mean? He asked. What did I mean? What was so hard to understand about this? I thought. I'm going to have Bill Murray read my book. More silence, more buffering, more people in here wanting to know if the eggs had gluten and to have their pickles on the side, and wondering why they are out of cookies and cream croup. How is him reading it going to make you millions? He asked. You think he'll buy 1 million copies? I told him. I'm going to have him record it like a book on tape. Everyone will buy it if Bill Murray reads it. Wow, he said. I can't believe you got him to agree to this. That's amazing. I can't believe you got him to do this. This is all just sinking in. This kind of makes my news look like shit. You are working with Bill Murray? How did you get him to agree to this? This time there was more silence, more buffering, but from me. Well, I haven't yet, but my plan is to meet him by walking around until I bump into him on the street. You know I always see him all the time. So that's the plan you were just talking about? I'm going to be honest, that's not really a plan, Ted said. I mean, it's something, but no one ever bumps into the people that they want to bump into. This isn't like the movies. All you run into is delivery guys on bikes, exes at bars. Speaking of which, Lydia, back at the coffee shop? Whew, she looked great. Seriously, where's my good news friend, I thought. Have you tried his agent? Ted asked. Whose agent? Bill Murray's. His agent. It's his job to find him work. Why not contact him? He suggested. Or her, I informed him. It's probably a him, he said. This is why Ted's not the feminist's ally. Why didn't I think of this? I immediately took out my phone and typed Bill Murray's agent into a search. What the hell? It says Bill Murray doesn't have an agent. He has an 800 number that you leave voicemails on, and if he's interesting, he'll call you back. And if it's not, he won't. Apparently, he doesn't even check it that much. He missed a callback for a part that he wanted in Roger Rabbit. What? That can't be right, Ted said. Ted checked Google. Well, shut me up. It is right. And according to this, Bill Murray goes up behind people in public, randomly, puts his hands over their eyes and says, guess who? And when they turn around, he tells them, no one will ever believe you. Bullshit, I told him. Listen to this. Variations on the story began to circulate widely around 2010. Sometimes it happened in New York, sometimes in Austin, Texas, or Charleston, South Carolina. It happened in New York. That's good news. Maybe you're onto something looking for him outside. Maybe he'll bump into you. Ted kept looking online. I don't know, Will. I'm clicking around, and it says here Harold Ramis could never get a hold of Bill Murray when they were working on Groundhog's Day. And the studio made Bill hire an assistant, and he hired a deaf Indian girl to go as his in-between. I mean, no offense, but I think Bill Murray would return Harold Ramis's call before yours. He continued. Wait, hold on. Someone also wrote, it's not that hard to meet Bill Murray. Well, this sounds promising. Go to enough Cubs games, and eventually you'll run into the guy. Or if you position yourself in his gallery at Pebble Beach, he might wrestle you in a sand trap. And this says there's a Bill Murray Day in Toronto on September 5th. Well, this doesn't do you any good. Why not go with Morgan Freeman or Christopher Walken or Samuel L. Jackson? They have great narration voices. And they probably have agents. What about Oprah? What about Oprah? I asked. Why not have her read your book? You love Oprah. Yeah, I told him, but I don't think this is her kind of book. You would know. You read everything she tells you to. Besides, I don't have her number either. How the fuck am I going to get that number? You don't ask me for numbers, hun. You just tell me what you want to eat. There was a no-nonsense Rachel standing by our table. Her gray hair and wrinkles on her face, like the circles on a tree stump, gave away her old age. But her loud, phlegmy smoker's cough ruined any chance of mistaking her for a sweet old grandmother. All right, pretty boys, what'll it be? She asked. She looked like she could just as easily have been a trucker. She took out the order pad from her white apron over a pink dress embroidered with blue, and the pen she was holding was taken from behind her ear where multiple piercings sparkled up her earlobes like street lights. I'm going to have the venison bacon omelet, I said. It says it comes with duck nuts. Are nuts good in an omelet, I asked. They're the other kind of nuts, hun, she said. Confused, I asked, what other kind of nuts? She let out another cough and said, exactly what they sound like, hun. She grabbed her crotch like a baseball player. Don't look so scared. They taste just like kidney beans. If I told you they were kidney beans, you wouldn't have known the difference. I was more scared she would be washing her hands before serving, but only slightly. But you didn't tell me they were kidney beans, I said. Fine, they're kidney beans. She turned to Ted and asked, and your cheeks? What am I bringing you? She smelled like cigarettes and maple syrup. I'll have the mint chocolate bisque and the turkey sandwich, she said. And only the parts above the turkey waist, please. We're out of the bisque. We got the Rocky Road gazpacho. You'll love it. It's got the other kind of nuts. She walked away. You're really going to eat duck nuts? Ted asked. YOLO, motherfucker. He laughed and called me an idiot. So enough about me. What was your great news? I asked. So remember that script I wrote last year? The one about the disabled superhero? It was tough to forget. It was about a genius, bullied high school boy whose school bus crashed into a nuclear power plant. Everyone, the classmates, the driver, were all trapped under the bus, unconscious, except for him. He mutated from the radiation and got superpowers and turned the bus back upright and rescued everyone. But the accident left him mentally challenged, and he vowed to stand up for bullied children everywhere, under his superhero identity, Special Superman. The script received a ton of negative backlash when copies had leaked out of the casting sessions. I mean, even for the internet, the comments were extremely negative. I remember it. Didn't that, I don't know, offend everyone? I asked. It wasn't offensive, he said. I think it's because I made a poster that said, don't be retarded, see this movie. I don't know. I can't keep up with political correctness. Only non-disabled people can be superheroes now? That's what's offensive. Hero or not, the child's disability did land him into a ton of mishaps. His head would get stuck in his helmet, or his helmet stuck in a vending machine with his head stuck in his helmet. That helmet caused a lot of problems. Whatever, Ted said. They're turning it into a web series. Who's they? I asked. Big executives. They heard about it when they received an email to sign the petition banning me from everywhere. They watched it, and they loved it. That's amazing, I said. Yeah, they're changing a little. He's got a sidekick now who's in a wheelchair, and he has the power to turn stairs into ramps. When they told me, I said, "You're calling a kid who can't walk a sidekick?" And whoever I was talking to didn't see the humor and the irony, but whatever. He raised his glass, and we cheersed, if that's a word. "Congrats! So I suppose this lunch is on you?" "Thanks. Hell yeah, this lunch is on me. They actually sent me some money so I don't have to work while I write this. Joke's on them. I wasn't going to work anyway." Look, don't take this the wrong way, but do you really think Bill Murray is going to do this? When I was looking for his agent on Google, I read that he passed on Airplane, and that's one of the greatest comedies of all time. Why would he read your book? No offense. Well, he didn't want to work with B. Arthur on SNL either, but he said he wound up being really impressed by her. Maybe he's more open to trying new things. Okay, but how do you think you'll be able to afford him? Ted asked. I don't think he's about the money. You know he did Rushmore for $9,000? Okay, but no offense, this isn't Rushmore. Wes Anderson's an artist, and you're a guy who just posts a lot on Facebook. Plus, you don't have $9,000. F you. You haven't read it. How do you know it's not Rushmore? He took a bite of his gender-neutral sandwich. Have you applied for any of the jobs yet? He asked. You know, I saw a woman on a commercial the other day with a broken arm. She apparently undecorates and